Okay. So yes. So are you all ready to make the India independent once again? Because this is the theme of the 8th class history that we are going to study modern history, the British rule, the British East India Company, when it came, how it came, and when it came, and why it came. Okay, that was the main reason that why it came and then what it did in India. So that is the main reason we have to find out that why did they come to India, for what purpose, and then they started doing what then. So how were they able to rule us for hundreds of years, and the people of India, they were so helpless, they were not able to do anything. We became slaves to them for more than 100 years. So what kind of policies were there? What kind of things were there? What went wrong? And how did they able to establish their power so powerful in India that they were able to rule ourselves? In our own country. India was our country, it belonged to us. Somebody came from outside, you can call them aliens because alien is someone who comes from outside. So somebody came from outside and they established their power, they started ruling us. So all these questions must be arising in your mind that how it happened, why it happened. So this is the here in 8th class modern history, you will get the answers of all your questions because it is going to be very interesting. We will read it as a story. Okay, don't read it as history. It is history, no doubt, but let it be we all should go there in that time. Okay, so I'm going. So who all wants to come with me? So all of you, we all will go in that era when people were suffering and this British East India Company came and what all things went wrong that time. So let us all go there and let us all become the warriors. Let us all become the revolutionaries and we'll try to free India once again because we are going to repeat the history. Okay, we are going to study the history that what went wrong because it is known. We said that we were ruled by Britishers. Okay, we were ruled by English. So why is it so? Why it happened? So these all things we will be studying in this. I cannot say chapter because it is something which is really, really, really interesting. Okay, so chapter 2 we are going to start with from trade to territory. Can you understand the chapter, the title of the chapter? From trade. Trade means this British East India Company came to India to do trade only, just for buying and selling things. And then how it happened that how were they able to acquire the territories and they become the rulers. So that's why the name of the chapter is from trade to territory in context with the British East India Company. Okay, or I'll also say only say company. If I take the name company, then also I'm referring to British East India Company because they were known as company only. The company establishes power. So which company I'm talking about? I'm talking about British East India Company that came to India in the name of trade. So they came in the name of trade, but later they started acquiring the territories, they became the rulers, they became the Nawabs, and they started ruling people. So that's why the name of the chapter is from trade to territory. Clear? So what is East India Company first of all? Okay, see, I'm going to read simultaneously from the book also so that you can underline the important lines. Yes. So who was the last Mughal ruler? Page number 9 in your book. So Aurangzeb was the last of the powerful Mughal rulers. Underline the very first line. Who was the last Mughal ruler? So there will be one mark questions which can come from so many parts. So you have to keep on underlining the main lines. So who was the last Mughal ruler? Aurangzeb was the last powerful Mughal ruler. He established control over a large part of the territory that is now known as India. After his death in 1707, underline this point also. When did Aurangzeb die? Aurangzeb died in 1707. Many Mughal governors, subedars and big zamindars began exerting their authority and establishing regional kingdoms. Okay, so first when Aurangzeb was there, he was so powerful that you can say, he dominated the regions that time. He did not let other nawabs or other rulers to exert their power and authority. But when he died, so after that, the other rulers, Mughal rulers, they also became strong and they began exerting their authority and established the regional kingdoms. As powerful regional kingdoms emerged in various parts of India, Delhi could no longer function as an effective center. So first only Delhi, this Aurangzeb was there. So that was known as the powerful kingdom that time. But when he died, so then it was no longer effective because in other parts also so many other regional kingdoms became strong. Okay. By the second half of the 18th century, now one thing you must understand when I talk about the 18th century, so can you tell me 18th century refers to? 18th century means 1701 to 1800. So this is 18th century. Okay, 18th century means it is always we take one century back. We talk 18th century, but in written we will write 17th. Okay, so 17th era from 1701 to 1800 is known as 18th century. Clear? So by the second half of the 18th century, second half of the 18th century means near about 1750. Near about 1750, a new power was emerging on the political horizon, the British. So by the second half of the 18th century, a new power was emerging on the political horizon, the British. Did you know that British originally came as a small trading company? कि ब्रिटिशर्स आए थे सिर्फ एक ट्रेडिंग कंपनी बनके. They came from Kolkata side, they entered India from Kolkata side, but they entered just as a trading company. कि वो सिर्फ एक व्यापार करने आए थे इंडिया में, because we had very fine quality of silk, cotton, some spices were there, cloves, cardamom. So these spices were very finely grown in India. So this company came to India in the name of trade. Only to make money they came to buy the thing. But how then did they come to be masters of a vast empire? So a small company who came in the name of the trade, किसी से व्यापार करने आई थी, and then how did they suddenly became the masters of India? In this chapter, you will see how this came about. So that was the introduction part, that how it came to happen, so that we will come to know. Here, so first of all, you should know what is East India Company. East India Company was a trading company. Okay, it was a trading company who used to buy and sell the things. So in 1600, now 1600 means 17th century we are talking about. So in 1600, the company acquired charter from Queen Elizabeth I. So Queen, she was that time you can say the crown of the British, the crown of the English was for Queen Elizabeth I, and for doing anything, they had to take the permission from Queen Elizabeth I. So this company, East India Company, they acquired charter. What is charter? Charter is a formal order, formal permission. So they took permission from the Queen Elizabeth I. What permission they took? They got a sole right. Sole means only one. Only they got the right to trade with East. Now, if you see on the world map, the Britishers are on the western part. Okay, this Europe, so these England, these are on the west part of the India, on the west side of the India. So for them, India is on the east. Okay, so only British East India Company got the right to trade with the eastern part of the world in which we come, that are the Indians. So excluded competition from other English trading companies with mercantile objectives made huge profit. Now what is the thing? Understand, they got the right to trade with Eastern companies, but before they got the right, there were some other trading companies also who had already connected with India, like Portuguese. Portuguese, you know, Portuguese Vasco da Gama, he was the first one who discovered the sea route to India. So already Portuguese came to India, then some from Dutch also came, from some French companies also. So by the time this British East India Company came to India for trade, that time already other countries had linked with us. Okay, like Portuguese, they had their base in Goa. Okay, so they entered from Goa side. So when these already, you know, when so many companies will be there and they will be interested in buying the same things, so what will happen? Competition will be there कि सबको एक ही चीज चाहिए. So then this British East India Company, they were not happy with this. उनको क्या लगा कि हमें इतना ज्यादा competition इनसे मिल रहा है, so इनको हटाओ यहाँ से. So what they did, they started destroying their ships. उनकी ships को destroy करना शुरू कर दिया उन्होंने. So like these kind of things were there. Okay, so still competition from other European powers was there, like Portuguese, French, and Dutch, because already before British East India Company, they had made links with India for the trading purpose. So this competition created problem. So ये जो competition हो गया, इस तरह से बहुत सारी companies आ गई. So they were all interested in buying the same things. So what Indians did, they raised the prices, because you know that I have someone who wants to buy my product. कि मेरा product कोई British East India Company भी buy करना चाहती है. Portuguese also want to buy, French also want to buy, Dutch also wants to buy. So I'm in demand. So we Indians, our products were in demand. So we raised the prices. So this kind of competition created problem, but the nature of problem further exaggerated the problem. So ये problem जो British East India Company को, they did not like this. So what they did, so this was the sea route which was adopted by the British East India Company. British Island, they came from here, you know, here it is England, Europe side. Okay, from here they came, so from the Cape of Good Hope, and then they entered India from Calcutta. So who entered India from this Bombay side, Goa side? They were Portuguese. Okay, so Portuguese also entered before that. So this is how this sea route was adopted by the companies who made this trading links with India. Then East India Company comes east. So why east? Because you know Kolkata is which side of the India? Kolkata is on the eastern side. So all the companies, जितनी भी companies थी, चाहे British East India Company होगी, Portuguese, Dutch, French, all the companies were interested in buying the same thing. Now, which were the things? Cotton, silk, pepper, cloves, cardamom, cinnamon, etc. And सबको एक ही चीज चाहिए थी इंडिया की. All these things they were interested to buy. So when they all wanted to buy the same things, the competition was there. Okay. And now if the competition will be there, demand will be high. So demand of these products went high. So if the demand was there, the price also went high. So Indians raised the prices of all these products. Okay. And if the prices were raised, the profits of the company went down. So now if the profits of the company went down, then the British East India Company decided to stop other companies to trade with India. Thus, eliminating the rival competitors was the only way through which trading companies would flourish. Okay, so what they decided, that they will eliminate the rival competitors. Rival, who were the rivals? Portuguese, Dutch, French were their rival competitors. कि इनको हटाओ अपने रास्ते से, तभी हमारा जो कंपनी का प्रॉफिट है वो बढ़ेगा. Because if we will be the only one in buying the products, then obviously the Indians have to bring down the prices. Then only we will be in profit. So this led to fierce battles between the trading companies. So इससे क्या हो गया? If competition was there, so there was rivalries, and this led to battles between the trading companies. So what they did, ships were attacked, कि एक दूसरे की ships को attack करने लगे, routes को block कर दिया उन्होंने. Trade was carried on with arms. Okay, so yes, so what happened? So this led to fierce battles between the trading companies. Ships were attacked, routes were blocked, trade was carried on with arms. So though they wanted to trade, but they were always carrying guns with them, and trading posts were protected through fortification. Fortification means they used to build big buildings, big fort-like buildings around the sea coast to protect their trade. Okay, but this fortification created conflicts with the local rulers. Now from here the problem started. That British East India Company, they started fortification. Fortification means they started building big monuments, big fort-like structures around the sea coast so that only they could trade with India. But this fortification created conflicts with the local rulers. Local rulers जो बंगाल के नवाब्स थे उस टाइम पे, so they were not happy with the East India Company that they were expanding and they were fortification, they were building their forts, so they were also not happy. So here from this was the beginning, you can say, this was the beginning of the conflicts between the local rulers, means who were the local rulers? The Indians, the Bengal Nawabs and the Britishers, the British East India Company. Okay. So this kind of fortification was done by the Britishers. Okay, around the sea coast, they used to build their trade houses. So quite big. So that's why this Bengal Nawab, they were not happy with this. So East India Company begins trade in Bengal. So where they started their trade? They started their trade in Bengal because they entered from the west, from Kolkata. So their Bengal was there. So see on page number 11. Page number 11, the same heading is there. East India Company begins trade in Bengal. So underline the very first line. The first English factory was set up on the banks of the river Hooghly in 1651. So this is how, so they set up their factory. So means they were, you can say they were dominating. Okay, they were imposing their things, their powers on the local rulers. The first English factory was set up on the banks of the river Hooghly in 1651, and this was the base from which the company's traders, known at that time as factors. ठीक है, जो कंपनी से जो ट्रेडर थे, जो बात करते थे नवाब से जो प्रोडक्ट, ये जो different things to buy, so they were known as factors. So factors had a warehouse, offices they started building, and as the trade expanded, okay, so they were expanding their trade, company persuaded merchants and traders to come and settle near the factory. Okay, so when the trade expanded, so the company which was there in the England, so they also persuaded merchants and traders to come and settle near the factory. By 1696, company acquired zamindari rights over 3 villages by bribing Mughal officials. Very important line. So what they started doing, they wanted permission to do more trade and they wanted to do the trade tax free. They did not want to pay any tax to the local rulers, to the Nawabs. So that's why they started bribing Mughal officials. उन्होंने Mughal officials को रिश्वत देना शुरू कर दिया. Okay, now this was their policy, divide and rule policy. Divide and rule policy की वजह से ही India became a slave country. Okay, because there was no unity at that time among the Nawabs, among the people of India. So anybody who could be bribed by the Britishers, and they come on the Britishers side. So that's why they applied this divide and rule policy. Okay, so it's written here, by 1696, it began building a fort around the settlement. 2 years later, it bribed Mughal officials into giving the company zamindari rights over 3 villages. So ब्रिटिशर्स ने क्या किया, जो बंगाल के नवाब थे, मुगल थे, उनको ब्राइब किया कि आप हमें जमींदारी राइट्स दे दो. You give us zamindari rights. What are zamindari rights? Zamindari rights means the right to collect tax from the people. Means, see, just they came to India to do trade, but now they are taking the rights also and they are collecting tax from the people. And why, how were they able to do so? By bribing the Mughal officials. उन्होंने Mughal officials को bribe करना शुरू कर दिया. So they gained these zamindari rights over 3 villages. Company persuaded Mughal Farman. So one of these was Kalikata. It also persuaded the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. उन्होंने Aurangzeb को भी convince किया to issue a farman granting the company the right to trade duty free. So he asked Aurangzeb, उन्होंने औरंगजेब को बोला कि आप हमें एक फरमान दो. What is फरमान? फरमान is a royal order. Okay, so you give us a farman to which is the right to trade duty free, means we will not give any tax for doing trade with you, though they had to pay the tax. But they said you issue the farman to us that we will do the trade duty free. Duty means tax free. And moreover, they gained zamindari rights over Indians. Okay, that they got the right to collect tax. So ordered company, the company tried continuously to press for more concessions and manipulate existing privileges. Means what they were doing, they were exploiting the Mughal officials, Nawabs, means they were continuously pressing for more concessions कि हमें आप tax free कर दो, हमें आप low prices में goods दो. So these were the things which were continuously pressed by the company, and they started manipulating existing privileges. Means उनको जितना दिया जाता था, जितनी permission उनको मिलती थी, they always take more from that. Aurangzeb's Farman, for instance, had granted only the company the right to trade duty free. Now see, there is example कि जो औरंगजेब का फरमान था उसमें सिर्फ कंपनी को बोला गया था कि टैक्स फ्री हो जाएगा, ठीक है, ओनली कंपनी कैन trade, but there is no private trade. Private trade means even the people were trading, that also, that was not duty free, means for that they had to pay tax. So that was the exploitation. So it had granted only the company the right to trade duty free, but officials of the company who were carrying on private trade on the side were expected to pay duty. कि जो private trade कर रहे हैं उनको tax भरना पड़ेगा. This they refused to pay. उन्होंने वो भी भरना मतलब मना कर दिया. They refused to pay the taxes, and the misuse of farman was leading to enormous loss of revenue for Bengal. So Bengal के जो नवाब थे, they were collecting taxes from the people first, but now the company was also involved. They started collecting by bribing. They took the zamindari rights, and they were exploiting the farman also, which was given to them by Aurangzeb. So this led to enormous loss of revenue for Bengal. कि Bengal की जो capital थी, जो revenue था, वो बहुत ज़्यादा loss में चला गया. The Nawab of Bengal, who was the Nawab of Bengal that time? Murshid Quli Khan. Okay, underline this line here. So how could the Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan, not protest? So obviously these Britishers, they were cruel. Means they were deliberately, you can say, or by force, by pressure, they were putting the pressure of the Nawabs, and they were taking these privileges. So that's why this Murshid Quli Khan, who was the Nawab of Bengal that time, he was not happy with this, and he protested. उसने protest करना शुरू कर दिया against the Britishers. So then what happened? There was a conflict between the company and the Nawabs of Bengal. So that's why, that was the reason that company and the Nawabs of Bengal, they conflicted with each other. Okay, but situation changed after the death of Aurangzeb. So now Aurangzeb died. So how trade led to battles? कि कैसे वो एक सिर्फ trade करने आए थे इंडिया में, and then how it led to battle. You might have heard of Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar. So now we are going to lead to Battle of Plassey. Okay, Battle of Plassey came in 1757. So now what led to the Battle of Plassey? क्यों Battle of Plassey हुआ था? We are going to reach there. So there was conflict between the company and Nawabs of Bengal because the company was given some permissions, but they were overdoing it. Okay, they got the rights, and then they were not paying the taxes properly, and they were exploiting the rights which were given to them. So the Nawabs of Bengal and the company conflicts हो गए उनमें, and situation changed after the death of Aurangzeb. After the death of Aurangzeb क्या हुआ? Bengal Nawabs asserted their power and autonomy as other regional powers were doing at that time. So Murshid Quli Khan was followed by Ali Vardi Khan, and then Sirajud-Dowla as the Nawab of Bengal. So who became first? Murshid Quli Khan became the Nawab. He was followed by Ali Vardi Khan, and then Sirajud-Dowla became the Nawab of Bengal. So now the story will be between Sirajud-Dowla and the company. Okay. Now Sirajud-Dowla, he was also against the company because the company was not cooperating with them, and what permissions were given to them, they were exploiting that. So they refused to grant concession to the company. सिराजुद्दौला ने क्या किया कि हम कंपनी को कोई भी कंसेशन नहीं करेंगे, कोई कंसेशन नहीं देंगे. They had to pay tax also. They had to work in their own limits. They had to work according to us. So this is how conflict intensified. कि नवाब्स और ब्रिटिशर्स के बीच में जो conflict थी वो और ज्यादा बढ़ गई. Company had another stand, demanding duties to be removed, fortification. So company, they had their own stand. They wanted what? They wanted that their tax should be removed, and they wanted more fortification. Okay, so this led the company on its part declared that the unjust demands of the local officials were ruining the trade of the company, and trade could flourish only if the duties were removed. It was also convinced that to expand trade, it had to enlarge its settlements. वो क्या बोलते थे जो कंपनी ऑफिशियल्स थे, they said that if we want to expand, कि हमें अपनी ट्रेड को expand करना है, we are not here to rule you, we only want to expand our trade. So if we want to expand our trade, we want to settlement, we want more offices here, we want more factories here, we want to buy the villages, we want to rebuild our forts. So this conflicts led to confrontations and finally culminated in the famous Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey took place between Sirajuddaulah and the company. Okay, so this is how Battle of Plassey came. Battle of Plassey was fought in which year? In 1757. So after the death of Ali Wardi Khan in 1756, okay, Sirajuddaulah became the Nawab of Bengal. So company was worried with this. Company को चिंता क्यों हो गई? Because company wanted what? Company wanted a puppet ruler. You know what is a puppet ruler? Who work according to our own. कि जो हमारे इशारों पे चले. So company को ऐसे ruler चाहिए होते थे कि जो उनके इशारों पे चले और what they wanted they should give them. So they wanted a puppet ruler. Due to the interference of the company, Sirajuddaulah was not happy with them. Okay, Sirajuddaulah was not happy with the company. So Sirajuddaulah asked company. Sirajuddaulah ने company को क्या बोला? Sirajuddaulah asked company to stop meddling in its political affairs, stop the fortification and pay the revenues. Okay, so they said you should not interfere in our political affairs, you should stop your fortification and you should pay the taxes which you should pay. But the negotiations failed. ठीक है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. The company did not, they did not agree on all these conditions which Sirajuddaulah wanted. So that's why what happened? Nawab marched with 30,000 soldiers to the English factory at Qasim Bazaar. Okay, Nawab, which Nawab? Sirajuddaulah. So who would willingly give trade concessions and other privileges? So it tried, though without success, to help one of Sirajuddaullah's rival become the Nawab. An infuriated Sirajuddaulah asked the company. Okay, so Sirajuddaulah asked the company to stop meddling in the political affairs, stop fortification, pay the revenues. After negotiations failed, कि ऐसा company ने कुछ भी नहीं माना, the Nawab marched with 30,000 soldiers to the English factory at Qasim Bazaar. He attacked. Sirajuddaulah ने company पे attack कर दिया. Captured the company officials, locked the warehouse, disarmed all Englishmen and blockaded English ships. इसने सारा जो कंपनी का काम था वो सारा बंद कर दिया उसने. Then he marched to Calcutta to establish control over the company's ports there. So it was all done by Sirajuddaulah because he was not happy with the company. The company was, you can say, unnecessarily, and they were meddling with the political affairs also. Okay, that was not the work of the work of the company because they came to do trade, so they should only stick to the trade. Why are they interfering with the political matters? And why are they building the forts? Why are they not paying the revenue? So that made the Sirajuddaulah angry and he attacked on the English company. But what happened? Did he win? No. Sirajuddaulah did not win. Why he did not win? Because there was one more commander in Sirajuddaullah's army. Sirajuddaulah की आर्मी में उसका ही commander था मीर जाफर. So Mir Jafar betrayed Sirajuddaulah. He did not fight only because he was with the Britishers. Britishers had already bribed him. Okay, Britishers they had bribed Mir Jafar not to support Sirajuddaulah. So that's why Sirajuddaulah lost the was because of the commander Mir Jafar. So on hearing the news of the fall of Calcutta, company officials in Madras sent forces under the command of Robert Clive. Okay. Robert Clive, reinforced by naval fleets, prolonged negotiations with the Nawab followed. Finally, in 1757, Robert Clive led the company's army against Sirajuddaula at Plassey. Okay. So these company officials sent troops under the command of Robert Clive. So Battle of Plassey took place between the company led by Robert Clive against Sirajuddaula at Plassey. Plassey is the name of the place. That's why it is known as the Battle of Plassey. So Battle of Plassey. But who won sadly? Who won? Sirajuddaula lost. The main reason of the defeat was the betrayal of Mir Jafar. He was commander in the army of Sirajuddaula. He betrayed by not participating in the battle. Why he did not participate in the battle? Because he was lured by Clive. Lured means he was bribed by Clive by the promise of making him Nawab after the defeat of Sirajuddaula. कि उसको ऐसा bribe किया था, promise कर दिया that if they will not underline this line on page number 13. Page number 13. The Battle of Plassey became famous because it was the first major victory the company won in India. Yes, so we have done up to Battle of Plassey. So today up to here only we will do. So please, your homework is to read the chapter from page number 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Page number 13 up to we have done. Okay, I have told you up to Battle of Plassey. So if you will read it silently, you will understand the things again, what all I have told you. And if there is any doubt, we can take it tomorrow. Okay, so up to page number 13, up to Battle of Plassey, you have to read. And then what happened after the Battle of Plassey? Then we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. So if anybody is left with attendance, they can send the names